Hey, welcome to World Entertainment. And the first reactions for Transformers Rise of the Beasts have come in. And they are quite positive, surprisingly. There's a few things we'll look over. Of course, we're going to look. But then we're going to have to go back and look at what the director and some of the cast are saying. Because it's like chalk and cheese with what they say compared to what the movie seems to be about. So let's have a look at this, and of course all the puns are in this. So Transformers first reactions say Rise of the Beasts is more than meets the eye. So the first Transformers Rise of the Beasts reactions are rolling out online. Early screenings for the latest live action Transformers movie took place Wednesday night, 2 weeks before the franchise's Beast Wars inspired 7th entry roars into the theatres on June 9th. Set in 94 Earth, Rise of the Beasts introduces a new faction of Transformers. Optimus Primal, played by Ron Perlman of all people, and the Maximals, who joined forces with Optimus Prime and the Autobots, the Battle Scourge, and the Terrorcons. How was director Stephen Campbell Jr.'s throwback Transformers entry received? Well, let's get into it, shall we? So the first review says, Rise of the Beasts makes good use of the animated movie's storyline and integrates the Maximals and Terrorcons to good effect. Stakes are high and Scourge is a terrifying and powerful villain. Action-packed with a lot of heart. Albeit with some cheese on top. You'll get a lot of these where they're kind of... It's almost like the Little Mermaid reviews where they're all like, oh, it's fantastic, blah, blah, blah. But then just kind of throw stuff in where it's like, that doesn't sound good. Next review, Rise of the Beasts is really fun. It's actually quite funny and the action is strong. I did find my eye... Here's one of the parts you'll see what I mean. I did find my eyes glazing over when they talked about this movie's special object. This series sure loves those. But way better than Bay's movies, if not quite Bumblebee level. So that sounds like, number one, another MacGuffin. Poof. But obviously better than Bay's movies, but they're saying not as good as Bumblebee. Which, once again, for people who don't know, because you wouldn't know it from this trailer, is the sequel to Bumblebee. I really don't understand how they did not clarify that better for people. So next one, totally dug Transformers Rise of the Beasts. It's got some issues in the middle, but it starts strong. Has fantastic 90s hip hop, makes great use of the humans, and the third act is a blast. Plus, I damn near jumped out of my seat at the end, right up there with the first Bay and Bumblebee. I hate hip hop music. And you'll also hear a couple talk about the end. Well, I don't know why the end would make you jump up, because this is meant to be the sequel to Bumblebee. We know Bumblebee was meant to lead to the first Bay movie. Now they're kind of hinting, is this a reboot or not? Don't know anymore. Next one, Rise of the Beasts plays like the ultimate Saturday morning cartoon. Some dope Transformers action. Anthony Ramos and Peter Davison are great. Even if some of the dialogue is a little clunky, it's a lean, fun movie and a promising start to something exciting. See, when you hear that, a promising start to something exciting, that would indicate that it's a reboot, that Bay's movies are kind of getting retconned. It's weird. This next review, I think this poor dude was having a stroke when he wrote this. Here we go. Try and keep up with this. Nah. For Nas coming out to introduce the film to the film itself. 10 out of 10. Boy. Fire. They definitely represented New York. Hey, Jew head or heard. Yeah, that's a review. I have no idea what in the fuck it's supposed to mean. I think the dude had a stroke writing it. Somebody better do a welfare check. Next one, Rise of the Beasts delivers one of the better and more coherent installments in the franchise. They clearly understood what worked so well in 2018's Bumblebee, as Rise of the Beasts has heart and the human characters are more likable. Mirage will walk away as the fan favourite. I don't know, a lot of people do not like Pete Davidson. So, and I know when his name got dropped and that he was going to be the lead Autobot, a lot of people went, ugh. I think this movie's going to flop, by the way, anyway. I know there's a lot of people who don't, but Bumblebee didn't actually do much at the box office, and the previous Transformers movie failed in terms of cracking $1 billion like the previous bunch. I think it actually failed in breaking even as well. I could be wrong on that one, but yeah, the profits for these movies have been going down, and I just don't think there's interest in this movie. So the next one, Rise of the Beasts, is a lot of fun. Anthony Ramos carries the movie and Pete Davidson steals every scene as Mirage. The ending blew my mind and the music in the film is fire. There's more about that ending. The new Transformers movie is pretty solid. Love the Brooklyn setting. Maximals and Scourge add a new spin and the action pops, especially the New York scenes. Mirage steals the show, but the true star is the absolute best soundtrack, full of early 90s hip-hop hits. This 90s kid had fun. Well, good for you. What exactly is that meant to say about a movie if the best part of the movie and the true star was the soundtrack? that one's a bit weird. Rise of the Beasts was a blast. The Beast Wars crew finally show up in what's arguably the best Transformers movie in the run. There's a lot of heart, humour and Brooklyn pride in here, and it all makes for throwback popcorn fun. Yeah. So there you go. Quite positive reviews, and it's interesting as well because I believe it was Jeff Snyder who said everything he was hearing was that this movie was an absolute mess. Still could be. This could just be a bit of kind of shilling for getting to see it. Don't know. I don't know why they do that for a Transformers movie, because they've had no problem ripping on any other one. So I don't know. I just don't see the interest in this movie. And now let's get into some of the stuff as to why I think a few people have been turned off. Is what the directors and the actors have been saying, which of course is, this is a story about Black and Latino culture. Right. And that had everyone going, what the hell do you mean it's about Black and Latino culture? No one cares about that. No one cares about the human stories. Give us the robots. That's all we want. We don't care about the human. And how are you trying to tell us a Transformers movie is about black and brown people? Surely it's about Autobots and Decepticons and all the others. So that's what the director said. But now one of the actresses is coming out and saying some really bizarre stuff. Check this out. Transformers Rise of the Beasts actress Dominique Fishback says, As black and brown people, we don't get the opportunity to see mind-blowing things. What does that mean? What the hell is she talking about? We'll have a look at this, because it's a bit bizarre. So, Rise of the Beast actress Dominique Fishback recently discussed the upcoming film where she made the claim that as black and brown and people, we don't get the opportunity to see mind-blowing things. In an interview with Fandango, Fishback, as well as actor Anthony Ramos, Toby, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his second name, and Lisa, yeah, it's not spelt the way I'd ever seen Lisa, but I think it's Lisa Koshy, were asked, is there anything that you can tease in Rise of the Beasts that could suggest the future of the Transformers film franchise is especially bright because of the movie you made? So there's the question. The question is, did you make a movie that's basically setting up something different, something new and exciting? And what would that be? How exactly you get to this black people argument? Don't know, but they find a way. So Fishback answered first saying, I think the idea of like nothing is ever really new under the sun. Like things work because they've been working a certain way for so long, and that's why you get different characters from different backgrounds, and then the perception changes and the lens from what you see things change. Everything in that statement is just, what? What are you talking about under the sun? Okay. She continued, unfortunately. So I think like with this you have these kids from Brooklyn. We've never seen Brooklyn kids meet Autobots. It's never happened. We don't often, as black and brown people, we don't get the opportunity to see mind-blowing things like aliens and things like that. Ramos then chimed in saying, or we're not put in mind-blowing scenarios like... What is with younger actors now that every second word out of their mouth is like? Like it's this because like and like and like. Gee, learn to speak properly, will you? Says me who can barely bloody speak. But I know I'm stupid, so whatever. Fishback went on, and so to have that and have it take place in Brooklyn and so infused in the culture of Brooklyn because director Stephen Campbell Jr. was so specific about that gives a whole dynamic and a whole new world opens up because of the perspectives that we have now. Very different. What, a big robot standing in Brooklyn changes everything? Why? Fishback's comments all echo what director Stephen Campbell Jr. told Bet back in December 2022 when asked what it means to be a black director helming a blockbuster franchise. Campbell said, you came straight out of the gate with that one, laughs. It's been an emotional ride. Now I'm going to swing back to that in a minute. He continued, it's been 2 years now, Anthony Ramos that is, and I talk about having this type of opportunity but also understanding it's our time for us to be in this position where we can tell a story about our culture, our people, and see ourselves portrayed on the big screen, blending in with these vast genre is special. Everything he says there is fucking stupid in regards to a Transformers movie. It's time for us to see our perspective, our people, our culture, ourselves. No one's watching it to see your culture, your people. I didn't watch any of the Transformers because I wanted to see Shia LaBeouf. I couldn't have cared less about Sam Witwicky. All I cared about was fucking Optimus and Bumblebee, Megatron, Starscream. I couldn't care less about the human story. The same with the Monsterverse. Just give me the monsters. Wrecking shop. Couldn't care less about the human characters. What I wanted to swing back to, though, was the question that he was asked. Listen to it again. What it means to be a black director helming a blockbuster franchise. What does Stephen Campbell Jr. want to be known as? Does he want to be known as a great director who was able and did direct a blockbuster franchise? Or does he simply want to be known as a black director? The funny thing is, if he comes out and says, I just want to be known as a director, more importantly, a good director, you're going to have the BLM movements and all that criticize him and go nuts and say, how dare you reject the word black before director. Look at Idris Elba, what happened when he said, I'm not a black actor, I'm an actor. All the nuts lost it. Why was he even asked a question of what's it like to be a black director? Why couldn't he have just been asked, hey, you're a director who's done these particular things, what's it like now getting to do a blockbuster movie? Why was it important to say what's it like being a black director doing it? It's so stupid. No one turns around and says what's it like being a white director getting to do a blockbuster. And before people go, just because white people get all the roles. No. You want to be known for your work, not your goddamn colour. The same with the actors, with saying a statement as black and brown people don't get the opportunity to see mind-blowing things. What is that even supposed to mean? And this is the thing, when you hear the review, like, look at how none of the reviews mentioned the idea of, oh, we get a real sense of black history and Latino culture and stuff like that. None of them mentioned it. Not one single one of those reviews I read out for you mentioned anything about the human culture, skin color, anything like that. So why were the cast and directors coming out and hyping this movie up by bringing it directly to the identity politics? That made no sense. They should have just been sitting there saying it was a blast getting the chance, the opportunity to make this movie. Campbell Jr. should have been saying, as a director, it was great to finally be given the opportunity to direct something so big, because my work has been this type of stuff. The actors should have been saying it was a great opportunity to be given. You know, we've seen the other movies, we know what we have to step up to, and we're grateful for the opportunity. Instead of this, oh, as black people, we never get the opportunity to see aliens. What? Are they talking about like in real life or as their characters? And why? And again, why Stephen Campbell Jr. was even asked, like, why the question was even posed to him as, what was it like as a black director? That should never have been asked. Should have been asked, what's it like being a director to get to finally do something like this? It's crazy. But there you go. Some strange statements from the cast and whatnot. But positive, or so far anyway, positive reviews from the first reactions. We'll have to wait and see. I think this movie's out in a couple of weeks. It's one of those. It's just very kind of little promotion, at least where I am. I've seen next to nothing on this. I didn't even know this movie was made until the first teaser trailer was dropped. Weird. Anyway, I'll leave it there for this one. So with that, cheers. I'll catch you in the next one.